Hi guys, welcome back. I'm going to do this really quickly, and I know I say quickly and then I go on quite a lot, but I'm shooting out in a minute. So I wanted to talk about how we finally managed to conceive after 18 months of, I think about 14 months of never having a positive pregnancy test. We tried everything. So initially we didn't really try anything because I just thought, let's just see what happens. And then I'm quite obsessive. So after about 3 months of nothing happening, I was like, right, I need help to do this. So I went and bought OPKs and I bought a basal body thermometer, and I bought vitamins and I bought all this stuff, everything you can imagine. So with the OPKs, I always got positives on them. She's making herself comfy. I always got positives on them. Maybe not blazing positives, but like literally a smidgen less than the control line. And that was literally from my period to period. Like they just didn't work for me. I hated temping, hated it, because you obviously have to take it at the same time every morning, before you move, before you fart, like you've literally got to, like, before you roll over, so you've literally got to open your eyes, get the thermometer, wait for it to beep, and take it out, and then record it on your phone. I'm not a good morning person, so I would do it, be still asleep, fall asleep with it in my mouth, or I would take it, like go get my phone. I would have already turned the thermometer off, forgot what the temperature was, guess it, and also you have to take it at the same time every morning, and I worked shifts. Sometimes I would do sleep-ins at work, so I was getting up all through the night because I'm a support worker. So I was getting up all through the night to help out residents and stuff, so it just wouldn't work for me, and I absolutely hated it. My charts always just looked like really rocky and awful. Sorry, I've had orange juice and I've got really bad heartburn. So I hated temping. I gave that up after about 3 months. I just couldn't face it. And also because you have to take it at the same time every morning, it just like, I'm not up at 9 o'clock every morning. Sometimes I want to lay until like 12, 1 o'clock because I've been working till silly o'clock at night, or I've had like a really stupidly long 24-hour shift at work, and the next day I just want to spend all day in bed, or I'm up really late at night, watching TV with Ryan. It just didn't work for me. So one of my friends who I met off of the forum, who I still talk to now quite regularly, she put on there that she'd heard about this device called an Ovusenue. I just need to get it ready really quickly because I'm breathing fire. 1 second. And I'm back. Okay, so she told me that she'd heard about this device called an Ovusenue. And normally they're around about £80, I think, but she'd managed to find like a discount code. I think they were doing like a sale for £25. If I knew how amazing this device was, I would have paid the 80 quid, honestly. Money is literally nothing when it comes to this thing. It was incredible. But anyway, because we were trying it out and I hadn't really heard anything about it, I thought, right, I've got 25 quid, I'll just give it a go. And you have to pay the £25, and then you pay like a monthly subscription as well, which is £20, which is a lot of money. I'm not rich by any extent whatsoever, but at the end of the day, I was in that mindset where all I wanted was a baby and I would have paid anything, and I think we're all like that, and all I did was I just made cutbacks with other stuff, not going out as much, which we didn't really do anyway, but maybe not as many takeaways, or, well, I could probably do with not as many takeaways, but you know what I mean. So what Ovusenue is, it's like a little sensor. We get a kit, and it's a little sensor that's shaped like a sperm. It's like this big. It's not very big at all. And it's like pointing around. I don't actually have my sensor anymore. I threw it away before we conceived this one. This baby isn't actually directly from Ovusenue, but I'll get into that in a minute anyway. And you wear it inside you at night or any time of the day as long as you're sleeping. So if you do night shifts or like any shifts, it's fine. As long as you are sleeping for, I think it's 4 hours, it will it will record your core body temperature. So I don't know if basal body temperature and core temperature are the same, but this says it records your core temperature. So this was perfect because it meant that even if I was doing my shift at work, you know, if there was a day where I was missing, if I wasn't getting 4 hours sleep, it's just literally one day, but chances are where I was doing sleeping at work, I was going to get about 4 hours. And there were a few times that it was literally just on the cusp and it still recorded it perfectly. Or days when I'd worked like 24 hours and I'd come home and I'd had like a 5-hour nap during the day, it recorded it then. It was absolutely perfect. And there was no like, oh my God, you've got to like take it out and put it on the back of your phone when it's all gross because it's been up inside you and you've got to do it before you move. There's literally none of that. You can get up, you can go and wash it under cold water because as long as you record it within an hour, it saves that data on there. Give it a good clean, and then if you've got an Android, you can literally just hold it to the back of your phone with the app open and it makes it into a chart for you, which I'll show you my charts in a second. If you've got an iPhone, you get like a little NFC pad sensor that you like plug into the bottom of your phone. It comes in a little case. It looks like a glasses case, so it's like super discreet, super easy to carry around with you. Like I've stayed at friends' house before and left it there, and they've been like, "Lara, you left your glasses here." They've not even like checked in it, which is weird. But also, if they had checked in it, I hope that they didn't touch it because, well, we all know where that's been. But still, so let me show you the charts, right? So I always thought, because when you look at trying to conceive, the first thing you do after a couple of months of it not happening is you go on Google. And Google says a woman will normally ovulate on cycle day 14. Bullshit. I call bullshit on it. Like, so me and Ryan were like going at it from cycle day like 11, maybe more as well, because we do like having sex for fun before the stress of infertility got in there. Then it was just like, just don't touch me for a few days. But still. So like when we were trying, it was like cycle day 11, maybe 10 to cycle day 17. Because that's when you're told you should be ovulating, within that time. And they tell you to do it a couple of days before, like, or every day, like for your fertile week. So we were going at it, right? Nothing was happening. I wasn't really getting any of the ovulation symptoms that you're supposed to get. So like the cramping, the cervical mucus, nothing like that. I was getting none of that around that time because that's when I was looking for it. So when I started using the Ovusenue, and it turned up really quickly. I think it turned up in like 4 or 5 days. Massive manual, and you get you can go on the Facebook group that they've got, and that group was just amazing because other women would post their charts and you could compare them. You could get a little bit obsessive over it, which is great because we all love being a little bit obsessive when we're trying to conceive. And you can like talk to other women about everything as well. You've got the people that run Ovusenue on there, so they can help you out, and also you have a support email, so if there's like anything you worry about in your charts, you can email them if you don't want it on the group, and they will get back to you literally within hours. I think the longest I waited was a day, and that was because it was a Sunday, but then no, it wasn't, it was a Saturday, and they got back to me at like 11 o'clock Sunday night. Like, they're fantastic. So this was my first chart. This chart, I didn't ovulate, or I didn't use it for long enough. Okay, so what it does, I'm really sorry if it doesn't focus very well. I'm on my laptop. So, but anywho, can you see these tiny, tiny little, it's probably pointing at my laptop there, wasn't there? Tiny little blue dots next to the red ones. Oh my God, this is awful. I really need to get like a proper camera. Ah, there we go, okay. Those dots, or lines, are when me and Ryan had sex. The red ones is when you bleed, and then you have a little purple one if you've tested for pregnancy. All of this does is the same as normal temping, and it inputs your data for you, and it tells you, and it like makes a chart, right? So, and it tells you the temperature as well, which is amazing because I would also put it into like Fertility Friend. You can change the views on it, which you couldn't do when I first got it, but they do it now. So you can change your view. So you've got like, I think that's called like smooth view, so it's a little bit easier. And then you've got one with like a line going through it. Yeah, again, I really need to get a camera. There we go. It's got a line going through it. yet again, so it's a smooth view. Anyway, so I didn't ovulate on that one. So that was my first cycle, and I just thought, fuck, I'm not ovulating. So I remember going out and I bought loads of vitamins. Like I bought, I can't even remember what they're all called now, to be fair. I know Angus Castus was one of them. One of them began with a B. I took vitamin B12. I took pregnenolone. That's the right one. I can't remember. But I was rattling. Like, I was taking all of these vitamins here because I was convinced that I wasn't ovulating. Anywho, so the next cycle. So for all of you that have temped before, you will know that you ovulate, like it goes up, and then to be pregnant, you need your line to stay above the cover line, which is the temperature at which you ovulated. So this one here quite clearly shows that I didn't. Mine dropped down and I had a period, but I was pregnant on that one. That was my first cycle that I got pregnant with Ovusenue, and my first ever cycle getting pregnant. And I found out that, you can see up there, I ovulated, I think that's 24 or 23, cycle day 23, not 14. I'd never, ever, ever waited that long to have sex before, if you know what I mean. Like, I would always stop on like cycle day 18. And I never realised that I was ovulating that late. And because of this, I worked out that I was. So my temperatures actually dropped down, and I had a 2-day really heavy, really painful. I mean, my periods are normally, if you can see at the beginning of that one, 4 to 5 days. This one, it was 2 days, but my God, the cramps were so bad. I remember I was having a team meeting at work, and I woke up just in the worst pain ever, and I had to actually call in sick for work, and I've never really called in sick for work due to period pains. Like, they were always really heavy, but this one just made, like, it was like I was having a migraine as well. Like, my eyes were going funny. Oh, it was awful. So I just presumed I was not pregnant. I then found out that I was pregnant 2 weeks later, but I only found out because I was having a miscarriage. So I did actually get pregnant the second month using Ovusenue, just because I found out that I was ovulating really late. So this next cycle here as well, my temperatures did drop down. As you can see, I ovulated on cycle day, I'm going to say that's like 17. So that's a bit of a difference from like cycle day 24 again. Like, I was all over the place, but I was pregnant again on that one. When it says like cycle 3 and that at the top, ignore that, because I actually had to get a new sensor and I had to change a few things. So it doesn't actually... That's not actually my cycle that was on. I also got pregnant on this cycle. I stopped temping or using it when I ovulated after a few months, because I couldn't bear to keep doing it every day and watching the temperature go up and then go down. It was just too much for me. So as soon as I ovulated, I would stop temping, and actually that I found that really, really comforting, because I was just like, right now, 2-week wait sucks. It absolutely sucks, but temping was even worse. So just gave up on that one. And that wasn't cycle 7, like I said. I think that was actually like cycle 4 or 5. But there we go, another one. I got pregnant on that one. But I actually had to stop using it because we were going away, so it didn't actually come up with my ovulation window, but I know I ovulated, and that one was on cycle day 20. This one's cycle day 22. And that one was the last one. And I can't remember if I got pregnant on that, but chances are I do, because I got pregnant 5 times using it. So, after November, I got pregnant that cycle whilst using Ovusenue, had another miscarriage, and that was when we decided that we wanted to adopt. So I actually got rid of it because I didn't want to try and conceive anymore. I didn't want to use this anymore, and that's not because it didn't work, because it obviously was working, but it was my body that was rejecting all the pregnancies. So I got rid of it, and we ended up conceiving this baby. Like I said before, I think I've said before, pretty sure I did, when we were waiting to adopt and we were trying to be careful not having sex in my fertile times, which I knew worked out when my fertile times were because of Ovusense. And I didn't actually need it really anymore after that, because even in the last few cycles, I could tell like to the day when I was going to ovulate, because I'd learnt so much from that I learnt a lot from my body. But yeah, so this baby came about because we were not having sex in my fertile times, apart from the night when I conceived, which was when we were both fast asleep and then started having sex, and didn't really think much of it because, I don't know, we probably should have thought a bit more of it, considering how easily I got pregnant as soon as I knew, when I was ovulating. So yeah, this baby technically isn't an Ovusense baby, but the 5 before that, 6 before that, this is my 7th, 5 because I got pregnant before Ryan. So the 5 before that were Ovusense babies, and so I got pregnant 5 times within like 8 months of using this. Like I used it for 8 months ish, maybe 9 months, but I got pregnant 5 times in that time because I had miscarriages. It's got nothing to do with Ovusense whatsoever. That's just my body. So I would highly recommend, I cannot recommend it enough, for women that don't really know what's going on, to get one and try it out. I mean, it says that I don't have polycystic ovaries. I was told that I would have, I don't actually know if this is correct, but my doctor told me that you can have polycystic ovaries or polycystic ovary syndrome, where you don't have the cysts, but you have the symptoms. Is that a thing? I don't know. Anyway, that's what my doctor told me I had. I didn't believe her because I just thought that she was testing me at the wrong time, because you do your 21-day bloods. I wasn't ovulating on cycle day 14 ever. Well, I did once, I think, on that one. So I think she was just testing me at the wrong time, to be fair. But I lost those babies because I had an issue with my own body, not because of Ovusense. I would 100% recommend it. Yes, it is a lot of money, and I totally get that people don't have that, because we didn't have that either. It just so happened that I got it on a month when I had a little bit of cash left over, but it was a bit of a struggle every month to find the £20 to pay for Ovusense. However, I would pay anything to be pregnant, and I think anyone that struggles with infertility knows that as well. You will know that you would literally pay, if you had the money, you would pay absolutely anything to be able to have a baby. So I can't recommend it highly enough. If anyone has got any questions about it, then please feel free to just give us a shout, or about anything else, to be fair. Like I said, we've tried everything. I don't know if Ryan actually knows the full extent of the stuff that I bought to try and get pregnant, because let's face it, no one wants their husband to know how much money that you've actually spent on vitamins. Thank God for the Holland and Barrett penny sale, that's all I can say. But I will link Ovusense in the description if you want to have a look at it. There's, like I said, there's also a Facebook page. Now, I don't know whether you can join that before you get it, or if you have to have it and then join it, because obviously there's a lot of women on there that are trying to conceive, and it's quite like a sensitive subject page, so I think they would expect you to have it first, but please don't quote me on that. You could always email Ovusense, it's on their website, and ask them. If not, there's a tag on Instagram for Ovusense, and that's fantastic. I was looking through it today, actually, and that tells you loads of details about it. But like I said, I'm always about to give you a shout as well. Also, I don't want to scare you when I say that you've got to wear this little thing inside you. You can't really feel it. It's similar as wearing a tampon, but it's actually nicer because it's made out of medical grade silicone, so it's not like that. You know, when you're coming off your period and you have to pull your tampon out, it feels like it's going to pull your insides out as well. It never feels like that. It's fine. Oh, the only word of advice though would be take it out when you go to pee in the middle of the night, because, well, it's quite expensive and you don't want it to end up down the toilet, so, which has happened a couple of times. But yeah, it's got a really long string on it as well. You'll see it's got a silicone string on it. It looks just like a sperm. So the actual sensor's this big maybe, and then the string is added onto that big, so it cannot get lost inside you. It's impossible. The string may go up inside you, but you can literally just hook it out. It's perfect. I can't recommend it highly enough. I will link it down below, and if you guys have got any questions, just give me a shout and I will answer anything, okay? Thanks very much for listening to me ramble on for the last 20 minutes. This was supposed to be a quick one. And now I'm like 10 minutes late to go see my friend, so I better go. All right, see you guys soon. Bye.